Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be filming my August mid-month wrap-up. Today, as you can see, first of all, let's just talk about this. I've got the fall vibes going on today. I don't know, I'm ready for fall. It's been so hot here in Tennessee and humid that I'm just like, let's go. I'm ready. But got this cute little thank you Lord for fall here, just sitting that up there. Got the hoodie on that I got last year on Etsy. Got my little thankful. It's a whole thing. And I've also got my tea here. Usually it's coffee, but I'm still not feeling that great today. But from where I've been sick, like I told y'all before, thank you all for your prayers so that I feel better. I am feeling better, but tea it is today. It's that Tazo tea. It's like baked apple something cinnamon. Anyway, ooh, it's hot. You can't drink it yet, so literally just poured it. But I got my little cute mug. Well, it's hot. Farm pumpkins. I don't know. I'm just really wanting fall to be here. I'll probably burn it up by the time this video is over because I'm like hot natured anyway. But really just want to wear this because it's cute. But okay, let's enough of this intro. What am I doing? What am I doing? Let's put this over here so y'all can see. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. The first book that I read this month was The Eye of the Storm by James Hughes. And I already talked a little bit about this in a vlog recently, but I want to do a little more in depth and just kind of go into the biblical parallels that I saw that I absolutely loved in this story. So I'm going to do, like I said, a more in-depth review on this. The author did send me this to honestly read and review, and I'm so glad he did because this was a pleasant surprise for me. I normally don't read a lot of fantasy, but this was like I said, just a great surprise. It was a Christian fantasy story, had lots of great parallels. I give this 4 stars, and let's just go ahead and jump into the reviews. This is a Christian fantasy story all about dinosaurs, as you can tell from the cover. I was pleasantly surprised about how much fun I had reading this. Fantasy is not always my go-to genre. I like it, but I read more of like romance and historical, and I'll dip my toes into fantasy every so often. So I highly recommend this as like a middle grade story, probably 13 years and older, and young adult readers, of course. But I'm 32, and I had a lot of fun with this. So really, for anybody, okay? Anybody who loves a good fantasy story, but especially if you love dinosaurs, you're gonna like this. So what I loved most about this story is just the number of biblical, allegorical parallels here. This had some really great Land Before Time vibes as well, and Narnia vibes. I could feel it, like the inspiration from C.S. Lewis. I could feel that in this story. So much of this story can be tied to scripture in the Bible, and I love that. I think we need a lot more of that for our young readers. So I think this book is just a really great read for parents to be able to tie in those biblical stories that children learn along the way. This story is about 2 dinosaur brothers, one born as a chosen one, Bravehorn, and then the other brother, Longcrest. He was not provided a gift at their big acceptance ceremony as everyone else was. There's also a figure in this story that correlates with God, Ananias, however you say that, and Longcrest doesn't know how to live his life without receiving a gift from Ananias. Because he wasn't given a gift at the ceremony like everybody else, Longcrest struggles with finding his purpose in life. His relationship with his brother is starting to suffer because his brother is the chosen one, and Longcrest just doesn't feel like he's anything special. There's so many trials and tribulations that they go through in this story, and it leaves you wanting to know what's going to happen next. That's the basis of the story, but my favorite biblical parallels that I saw are connections, references, things like that. There was a lot of like, let your light shine, lightness overcomes darkness. Definitely a lot of that going on. I'm going to quote some stuff. Ananias, parallel to God. So he'll say, Ananias has always protected us, and he's still doing so. If you ever feel anxious or need to talk, your mother and I are always here. But more than anything, Ananias is always available. He wants to hear from you and to take away your fears or burdens. Take your troubles to him. I love that because that is like a direct correlation to our relationship with God, that we could, like as our children are reading this book, we can kind of just tie that back in. And I love that. Another one was Ananias has good things in store for you. Always remember that. Another correlation to scripture about God's plan for us in our life. By believing in me, your spirit will live on and we will meet again in the high skies. So they call the high skies, I think that's like a correlation to heaven. And so you have correlation of believing in Jesus, heaven, all of that. I also have some mentions in here about how he sees your heart. He's with you always. He knows you. He's in control. Have faith in him. We're not defined by what we do. We are defined by him. Giving others mercy when you feel like you don't deserve it. Forgiveness, love. Just so many great things in this. For children. I loved it. So I really don't have any complaints. It personally took me a little bit at the beginning of this story to get going because of the dinosaur discussions and like the verbiage there. But I think that's more of a personal thing for me where I'm not as involved in fantasy reading as much as others. So, but there is a dinosaur like glossary at the end of this book that I think would be really helpful for some as you read through it. So I wanted to mention that. This also had like a really action-packed ending and it had a plot twist, just all kinds of stuff. So I think this is a great middle grade story, middle grade fantasy. So yeah, thank you to the author, James Hughes, for sending me a copy to honestly read and review. All right, y'all, we gotta take a tea break. Can I even take a sip? I don't even know if I can. Okay, we ain't gonna try it, I'm afraid. Okay. All right, let's go on. The next book that I read this month was The Thief of Blackfriars Lane by Michelle Greep. Y'all, this was fun. I give this 4 stars also. I listened to this on audio, and the narrator is just phenomenal. I highly recommend the audio version if you go with that one if you want to read it. But she does such like a great job with the different character voices. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. So this is set in 1885 in London, and it starts off with this constable, Jackson Forge, and he crosses paths with Kit Turner in the streets of Victorian London. And Kit's main job is basically kind of like a Robin Hood type thing. She is swindling the rich to help the poor. She helps other people, and a local cabbie goes missing. Jackson's new assignment is that he has to find the missing man, but he'll need Kit's help to do it. And I thought this was a lot of fun. Jackson is trying to find this missing cabbie. If he don't, he's going to lose his job. If Kit doesn't help, he's going to turn her in for thievery. So he pretty much like blackmails her into helping him. The story takes off from there as Jackson and Kit pretty much go into more than they bargained for throughout this story to find that missing cabbie. I really enjoyed this story. I don't have any real complaints. It's just a fun, mysterious 4-star read for me. I think it was a wild ride of mystery, action, even some romance. I did do a vlog. Well, I talked about this more in my vlog where I had read Eye of the Storm as well. So I'll link the vlog if y'all ain't seen it. But, we had a lot of great faith content here too. Some really great conversations surrounding trusting God and prayer, heaven, all that great stuff, surrendering to him. And I love that. I also love the characters. Kit, she is like a force to be reckoned with. Jackson never gave up trying to help her and solve the case. And also the romance was just a nice little addition to this story. So I'm excited for book 2. I read book 1 because I have book 2 on NetGalley. And I'm so excited. The publisher is Barber Publishing. And the second book is The Bride of Blackfriars Lane. And so really excited to start book 2. I'm actually going to try to get that done this month. We'll see. I think you would like this if you like cozy mysteries, Christian suspense, and mystery with some romance. I don't know, it was fun. So I've never read Michelle Greep, and I'm excited to continue reading more of her. So yeah, 4 stars. Hope y'all pick that one up too. So the next book I read this month, y'all are gonna be surprised, but it was book 2 in the Beyond the Tides series. I guess it's Prince Edward Island Shores series is what it's really called, but Beyond the Tides is book 1 by Liz Johnson. So book 2 is The Last Way Home. y'all, I was pleasantly surprised with this. You know, if you saw my video for Beyond the Tides, you know that I kind of was like whatever with it. It was like 3.5-star read for me, 3 to 3.5. I enjoyed it, but had some like issues with the romance in that one. But this one, y'all, I really enjoyed the story of Eli and Violet. Like, I put in my review, I quoted, "We both have some shattered edges, but maybe God isn't afraid of our brokenness. Maybe God doesn't always fix what's shattered, but he can make something new and beautiful out of what's been broken." Like, I don't know, just something about this story was so faith-filled, beautiful. The characters were just very easy to connect to. They had baggage. These characters had some baggage, honestly. Like, I don't know, I think that's part of why I was so connected with them, because they had some hardships that they went through, and we saw what they were going through in depth. We learned about Violet's story and Eli. I loved it so much. So, sorry, I'm like rolling off the deep end here, but let me just tell you what this is about. I don't know what I'm doing. This is about Eli Ross, who is Oliver's brother from the first book, okay? So Eli is the perfect example of the prodigal son who has been away from home for about 10 or 11 years. I think it's 11 years. And he's been away from his home and family for that long. He loses everything, though, in his hockey career. He has a professional hockey career. He comes home, and he's ashamed of so many mistakes that he has made, but he's hopeful for his family to forgive him. And then we have Violet. She was in the first book, and she was like Oliver's best friend, kind of like a sister to him. And I wasn't so sure about her in the first book because I thought the narrator made her sound really flirty and stuff. But looking back, now that I've read her story, I totally understand why she was the way she was in that story. So, read book 2 because I love her now. Like, honestly, I love her. Her story was just, oh my gosh, I was crying. I was crying, y'all. Okay, Violet, basically, nobody really knows her story, her secrets. She's been in the family of Oliver and his mom, Mama Potts and them for a long time, but no one knows about her family or her past or her secrets until Eli shows up. And when Eli shows up, y'all, those two have to work together through family drama. They're helping like a local girls hockey team. They get to know each other. And then all these secrets start being revealed, and they of course they start learning more about each other while they're falling in love. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, like I said, I give this 4 stars. You mostly, like I said, most of y'all know that I didn't love Beyond the Tides, but and I kind of for the first 50% of this one, I was kind of like, it's okay. I was feeling the same vibes, but at 60-something%, I was listening to this on audio. I had part of it. I had the NetGalley copy from the publisher Referral on my Kindle, but I was also listening driving home one day from Scribd, because this is on Scribd. If you want to listen, the narrator's not my favorite, but I was listening because I needed to I wanted to hurry up and try to get it done. And so I was listening to part of it, and there was a part, y'all, if you know, you know, there was a part in this story that as soon as the narrator said it, I was bawling. Honey, I was driving and bawling. Oh my goodness, I was crying. Violet's story, oh my gosh, my heart. So, yeah. When you are crying with a book, it's impacting me. Oh my goodness. Violet's story in my heart, if you know, you know. About 60-70%-ish is when we start seeing all the secrets start to be revealed with Eli and Violet, and my heart, oh my goodness, I had to know how everything ends. The characters are just broken. They need each other. They need God to get through their past. I love the ending itself. Beautiful. The reason this is 4 stars is I still don't love the way Liz Johnson does her romance stuff here. It's just mostly physical attraction based, and at the whole beginning, that's why I said the first 50% was kind of similar to Beyond the Tides, because they focus so much on their physical appearance mostly at the beginning. But like I said, that's fine. It is what it is. There's not a lot of basis there for the romance, but those in-depth secrets and struggles, my heart, it was great. So overall, I did enjoy the story. I love the characters. I love them together. So plus a bonus here, you already know Mama Potts. Yes, ma'am. Saw lots of her. Learning more about the beautiful family here, the struggles and how the Lord was working in this family. It was amazing on that. I just loved it. They depicted God's forgiveness, moving past your mistakes, with Him right there with you, and so much more. A couple other things I quoted. The truth is that life is hard, but it's easier when you have someone willing to walk through the hard times with you. None of us deserve to be forgiven. That's why it's called mercy. So yeah, those are just, I don't know, just some of those were very important lines that I personally highlighted. Thank you to NetGalley and Revel for this art copy. Like, I really enjoyed this. Much better than Beyond the Tides. So if y'all read Beyond the Tides, I recommend going to book 2. It was really good. So 4 stars. Next book. Okay, next book. Let me get to my notes, honey. Okay. Okay. So, I've already talked about this. I'm gonna be really brief. So the next book that I read this month that y'all already did like a full series review, but Loving the Dream Come True, Tammy L. Gray. My throat. Okay. I actually got tea because there's tea. There's tea here, okay? Is it really a book lover Amanda book? What am I saying? Is this really a book lover Amanda video without me spilling a little tea? I don't know. Tammy L. Gray. I love you, Tammy L. Gray. I love book 1 and 2 in this series. Book 3 fell a little flat. It was 3 out of 5 stars for me. I had to listen to the audio to get through it, be honest with you. So, it is what it is. It's really hard for me to talk about this. But this one just left me with a lot of mixed emotions. If you like rock band romances, you probably would enjoy this. If you already watched that whole video about where I talked about this, feel free to skip ahead. I've got timestamps. If you haven't, and you really don't want to know who this follows, go ahead, skip anyway. But I'm going to tell you who this follows because there's no way to talk about this book without it. So, yeah. So this is about Cameron and Lexi. This story is set 4 years after Cameron got his biggest break in his music career. Cameron's music career is not doing too hot. He's suffering, to put it lightly. And so he goes back home to his sister's wedding, and he runs into single mom Lexi. She has a 13-year-old daughter, Morgan, and she has had a major crush on Cameron since she was little. Lexi has had a major crush on Cameron forever. And even into her adult life, she's still crushing. Like at the beginning of the story, it's like she's almost like obsessed with Cameron, likes to listen to his music. And so when the two of them run into each other, the story kind of takes off from there. But yeah, what I liked here, I really liked the home renovation aspects, family vibes. The details with Morgan was great. That was my favorite part, was everything about Morgan, because I felt like Cameron really was like a good father figure for her. And then there was like the situation with Lexi's sister. If you don't really know, I'm not going to say that, but there was a lot of stuff going on with Lexi's sister. I liked the story there with that, what happened. This had some faith aspects, but I feel like book 1 and 2 definitely had more faith. There was a little bit of a missed opportunity here for some faith content. I like the ending was really nice, though. It was wrapped up. We had like a Christmas vibes, and you know your girl loves some Christmas vibes. Probably my favorite parts of this story is where we got to see little snippets of January and the guy she's with, and then Darcy and the guy she's with. That was great to see years later, like where they were in their life, in their relationship and their family stuff. That was nice. There was not a lot of that, but it was nice to see those snippets. Morgan also had a really great personality, cute teenager. She was very sassy, and I loved her as her daughter. I'm going to lead this into, here's what I didn't like. The romance was a little off-putting because Lexi almost had like too much of an obsession, idolization with Cameron. And it was just like she lost sight of some important things. I talked a lot about that in my full series review. But yeah, she lost sight of some important things because she was like so involved with Cameron. I felt like Morgan was a little bit more mature than Lexi, and that was kind of disappointing. She like her mom could never pick her up on time at school. It was like a whole thing. And I'm not someone who loves rock band romances, so I'm probably not the right audience, and that's probably why this was a 3 out of 5. 3 doesn't mean that I didn't like it. I still liked it, but it just wasn't the same as the other 2 books in the story. So don't get the feeling that like I hated this. It's absolutely not, but it was just disappointing because, as y'all seen in a lot of my videos, I was fired up when I got this in the mail from Baker Publishing, and I'm thankful that they sent me this to honestly read and review. But you know, that's part of transparency here on the channel. I'm honest, and it was just disappointing to me for so many reasons. So 3 out of 5. I still recommend the whole series. Y'all read the whole series. It was so good. Book 1 and 2 are like some of my favorites of the year. Love them so much. I think if I really loved Cameron and Lexi, it'd have been a lot different, but I just didn't love them as much as I did with the other characters. I didn't connect with them. So yeah, overall, I'm glad Cameron gets his story, and I highly recommend book 1 and 2 in this series. They're some of my favorite books of all time, so that's all I got to say about this. All right, what's next? All right, hold on. I'm getting my notes. Oh yeah, okay. So now we gotta talk about this. So these will be real quick. I'm actually gonna talk about these together. The next book that I read was Spy Family, Book 2, Volume 2. And y'all, this is just, like I said before, Spy Family, if you ain't heard about this, where you at? Because everybody reading this, it's so much fun. It's just like a cute manga series. Book 1 and 2 I've given 5 stars. I did finish book 3. I'll go ahead and talk about it too. I give it 4 stars. I don't have the physical copy of book 3 because it's hard to find them. Physical copies, it's on back order. I've ordered it, but the ebook copy became available for book 3 on my library, so I was able to finish it this past weekend. But this is just a really fun and cute, adorable manga series all about a spy, a telepath, and an assassin. I mean, there's a lot of action, humor, heart, everything in between, and I love it. So I'm not going to say a whole lot about this because I don't want to spoil anything, but book 1 and 2, this is book 1, if you don't have it. So this is book 1, and I've got book 2. Like I said, read it, give it 5 stars, lots of humor, just, I don't know, it's so funny. Basically, they're just trying to, like, get close to the target, I guess, through the daughter, and like get her through school, and there's all this funny stuff happening and like crazy situations. It's a lot of fun, and she can like read the minds of everybody, so like she's just doing all that. It's funny, but I love this. I give this 5 stars. Book 3 I give 4 stars. We'll go ahead and talk about book 3. Here's a picture of it. I give it 4 stars because the brother, Yur's brother, which Yur is like the wife, she's the assassin, her brother's weird. Like it was like too long at the beginning, so it was kind of weird. You know, just leave it at that. If you know, you know. But it was still great. I still love the story overall. It was great, so I give it 4 stars. Took 1 star off because the brother was weird, because it was just like too long. But yeah, love Spy Family. If you ain't read it, make sure you be reading it, because I got book 4, and here's book 4. I'm going to be reading it next. So, alright. So, the next book I read was book 2 in the Dreamkeeper saga, The Prince and The Blight by Catherine Butler. This is published by Crossway. I recently purchased both of these from Crossway's store directly. They were like $10, $11 each. Great price. They also give you the ebook to put on your Kindle for free when you buy a physical copy. How cool is that, right? So I highly recommend purchasing from Crossway store. I'm going to link it below from there. But I've already read this earlier this year through NetGalley. I read both of these through NetGalley, actually. And I just had to have physical copies because these are so much fun. Christian middle grade fantasy. Love these. Here we go. I'll link the wrap up where I already talked about this, but book 2 is just a great continuation, y'all, for this Christian middle grade fantasy. This ending is what bumped it up to 5 stars for me, because we had direct correlation with Jesus' death on the cross for us, his resurrection, his ultimate love for us, and he is always with us even when you don't see him. It's just an amazing second book in the series. I love this book better than book 1. Just something about the way that the ending of the story, it just spoke to me. I could see myself reading this to my son when he's older. I could see how they directly correlate the character of Prince Pax to Jesus, something about him just spoke to me. They directly correlate him to Jesus and his love for us. Love that. Again, we have some major Narnia vibes, Middle Earth vibes. I'm here for it. In this continuation, we have 12-year-old Lily McKinley. Her story is continuing on as they go through the Somnium. Is it Somnium? Somnium realm. Sorry, you know how I can't say nothing. Cedric the Dragon, he returns. Lily, Adam, and now they have a new friend, Keisha. Like, she's there to go with them through the realm. They're just trying to figure out what's going on. There's a mysterious blight or sickness among the land and has taken over the kingdom. It threatens to destroy everything in its path. Lily and her friends are just embarking on this journey to save the kingdom and find Prince Pax and get answers to all their questions. So this kept me on the edge of my seat. I can't wait for another book in the series. Like, such an amazing adventurous story. It ended where I think there'll be another book in this. I love the biblical themes, direct parallels. I highly recommend this. So thank you to Crossway and NetGalley for the advanced reader copy. But you all know I had to buy when I buy the physical copy, it's like, hey. So yeah, 5 stars. I highly recommend the Dreamkeeper Saga. If you love like Christian fantasy, you're gonna like this. So yeah, the next book I'm gonna talk about that I read, I've already done a full spoiler-free video on this. So if you've already seen that, feel free to skip. But let me tell you right now, I'm gonna do like a brief synopsis as much as I can because I've already talked a lot about this in that video. But By Way of the Moonlight by Elizabeth Musser. Y'all, this is like in my top 5 books of the year. Absolutely adored this book. I was beautifully surprised by this. I did not expect to love this as much as I did because I'm not really much into horses or anything like that. But y'all, this was amazing. I cannot. So yeah, I got this on NetGalley as an ARC, and I have ordered the physical copy, and it's on its way. I cannot wait. Ordered it from Baker Bookhouse, directly from the publisher. I will link it below if y'all are interested. But this is like a generational story about 2 women and their love for horses, family, and what matters most in their lives. So in this story, we have Allie Massey, and she's a physical therapist who has dreamed of making her grandparents' 10-acre estate into a trauma recovery center using equine therapy. And this is a treatment that uses the connection between people and horses to enhance physical or emotional therapy and healing. This has been a dream of Allie's grandmother, Nana Dale, for a really long time, as long as she can remember. And unfortunately, when Nana Dale passes away, her will is read and the property has been sold to a developer. No one knew this, and it was a tragic situation. So Allie is devastated. What can she do to try to salvage this? What can she do to change this to keep her legacy and property and her dreams alive? So this is set in Georgia, great southern setting. We have a dual timeline. It's beautifully interwoven there. Like just the way they transition between modern day, right around the COVID pandemic. It was like 2019, early 2020 is Allie's timeline. And then we have Nana Dale, and that was like the late 1930s, early 1940s. And so we've kind of got that World War II setting. And it was just a beautiful journey of both characters. We follow Allie's journey with her family, and her relationship with her fiance Austin is kind of rocky, and how she's dealing with the devastating news about Nana Dale's property. Allie becomes obsessed with trying to figure out everything about Nana Dale's past, her dreams, and everything that she left behind before her property is demolished. So like I said, we have that timeline, and then we also have the World War II timeline where we follow Nana Dale's entire life story as a young teenager to a young adult and her one true love, Tommy, and it was beautiful. So I'm not gonna say much more because I already talked a lot about it in that video, but y'all, this was just a beautiful story. I give it 5 stars. It's in my top 5 books of the year. I love the characters, the dual timeline, everything was beautiful. The faith content was good. I loved learning about everything that went on with Nana Dale and Tommy. My heart, I was crying, and the ending was just, oh my goodness, the ending was beautiful. So I highly recommend this book. There was a plot twist at the end, and I was like, are you serious? So I was crying. The story was just my heart. So yeah, I highly recommend this book. Please read it. You will not regret it. So that's all the books I've read so far. Well, I did read Spy Family Book 3 after this one, but I already talked about it. So yeah, that's it for this wrap up. Sorry it's kind of long. I'll do the timestamps like I always do. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry if I'm still like a little out of it because I've been sick. But I can tell my voice is trying to leave me. I'm about to go lay in the bed because I am burning up, like I said. I am burning up. I gotta get out of this. So that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments below, have you read any of these books? Do you plan to read any of these? Do any sound interesting to you? Let me know in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't. I always forget to say that. Just love all the conversations we have in the comments about all these books. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye, y'all.